I referred to when I talked about my TEDx journey, because she, being Sian Young, was the one that actually started the spark for that to become a reality. And so Sian Young in her own right is an extremely powerful young woman doing great things. But let me tell you a bit about her from her bio. All right, so Sian Young believes in a world where businesses are sustainable and profitable, and where cooperation helps us excel in competition. She calls it the interconnection between planet and profit. Sian is an international speaker, TEDx speaker, and co-founder of the Center for Sustainable Action, where she's on a mission to turn small businesses and entrepreneurs into profitable and sustainable, enterprising, humanizing businesses through cooperation. And she is titled as the Sustainable Success Coach, simply by living the mantra, health and well-being in life and business will save the planet. So I introduce to you now, ladies and gentlemen, Sian. So Sian, would you like to first of all say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
All right, so we're going to do this a little bit differently. We've never done it like this before with a woman like me. So I'm really quite excited, Sian and her groundbreaking self. I'm actually going to interview Sian, and that's how she's going to share more about herself and about her story and her journey. So thank you so much, Sian, for joining us today. And I'd like to start off by asking you to tell me a bit about where you are now in your life and in your business.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being so open for doing it this way. I was saying to Jasmine, I really have had a feeling about this event the whole time. For a year ago, you said about it, and I said, like, I want to do it because I want to inspire anybody who's listening to realize that overcoming what's holding you back, even though sometimes it's darkest before dawn, it's so beautiful. So I'm switching up a bit again on you here, Jasmine, and I blame you because you made me write a letter to myself.
Ooh.
Right. And this kind of ties in with where I am right now. And so I want to share it with all of you. I shared it with the group, so it's very short. Okay. So dear Sian, I am so pleased with the fact that you are now living in Tobago and are planning your monkey house. You stepped into your role and you took the growing pains and joys. You are now exactly where you need to be. You have love, abundance, time and health, a life full of travel and family. I love you, girl. Okay.
Wow.
So to say where I am today and to have that opportunity to write that letter just now, I am a co-founder of the Center for Sustainable Action, which is a cooperative to support business owners, solopreneurs, micropreneurs, entrepreneurs, to embed sustainability for their life and business, embed the human into business, where we take care of ourselves and our families, our well-being, our mindset, and then we give you courses for strategy in business to make your business zero negative impact on the environment. And that was a dream that was given to me way back in 1991.
Wow.
But yeah, I dreamt about it when I was in my sickbed. I'll go into my story in a minute. I just want to also say, out of building the center, it became real that to enable businesses to become sustainable, we created the SDG assessment app, which is a handheld app. And I'm not going to go into all these things, right? But what I want to share with you is that I never knew I was going to be doing this app. I never knew I was going to be now I'm considered a female tech entrepreneur. Come on, give me some in the chat, right? Come on, I want to see the chat move. Otherwise, I don't move with my story. Okay, come on, let me see. Because I'm a female tech entrepreneur now, and I didn't ever think that I was ever going to be that. Wow. And now a whole nother world has opened up to me, and I'm having to grow and expand. And sometimes it's scary, it's painful, it's joyous, it's exciting, it's very tiring, you know. So that's where I am now. I'm now expanding because I said yes to that dream that was planted in my heart, right? And you know that letter I just wrote to myself?
Yeah.
Now, I mentioned I was in my sick bed. Well, basically, I came out my sick bed. I was 6 stone. I was emaciated, and I ended up standing in an ocean in the Algarve, and I felt the sun on my back, and I saw the ocean stretching out in front of me. And I said to myself, you're alive. If you're alive, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to live in the Caribbean with an infinity pool, sipping pina colada while money rolls in my bank. Right? Yeah. That's what I said. I mean, I was 6 stone. And I know I'm going into the next part of my story. I'd been homeless for 7 years and then bedridden for 2 years with malnourishment, PTSD, and mental health conditions, right? And that's when the dream for the center was planted, 1991. I woke up in my sickbed with a vision of a place where humans learn to love each other and love their self and thus love the planet. Because I know the way we're treating our planet is because we're so messed up and confused and self-loathing inside, and we're just living that out. And if you multiply that by everybody living that out, then we have a dirty, polluted planet. And we have no self-love in here, right? And so I've asked Jasmine to interview me, but I seem to be moving into the kind of questions anyway, aren't I? Go on then. Give me question 2, Jasmine.
All right. So exactly what you just started to share with us, which is that, you know, did you say you're actually living in the Caribbean now, Sian?
Not yet.
Okay.
I feel my big toe in the ocean.
This is your future letter, like in the next year.
Oh yeah, that's next year.
You join us, it's going to be the reality of you in, oh wow, Tobago. Like, it's going to be amazing. Okay, so, you know, life hasn't always been this good, and you started to give a little bit of an insight. You gave just a little window, and I know there's a lot more to your story than you've alluded to. So I want you to tell us a bit about your story, please.
Yeah, so going backwards, I wanted to start with where I am now to show you, right? It's all open to us, ladies. It is all open to us, right?
Right.
But I started off, and much to Jasmine was saying about her story, I had a father who told me I was an effing slag, a slut. Nobody would like me unless they wanted to get something from me. He used to haze me. He was a Navy guy. He used to stick my head down the toilet, flush the chain on it. I'd lose like earrings, and he'd run at me and ram bars of soap in my mouth. He would chase me around the house. And every time I looked nice, I thought I looked nice as a young teenage girl, he would run at me and there'd just be this flash, and then he'd smash eggs all over my head and go, look at the state of you now. You know, that's what I was living. And when I was 12, I went to a social work department and said, I need help. Like, this is wrong. And then they came to our house, but he was quite high up in the Navy. And so he just put on this, you know, oh, not in my house, you know, and they listened to him. And I remember them leaving and just my heart sinking, knowing that I was in for another battle, right? Yeah. But because he was in the Navy, he went away every 6 months, sometimes for 6 months at a time. And I had this really nice life with my mum. And then I would be sat in my bed and there'd be the smell of smoke. And my veins would just tighten because I knew he was back. And I would be like, right, what's coming, right? And his behavior pushed me into the hands of groomers. So at 15, I was groomed. My father chucked me out on the street, and a neighbor took me in, sent me to a house where things happen that I don't even want to share on here. And then I got bounced back and forward and back and forward. And, you know, like 7 years, it was me on the streets, starving. And I know many people, my husband is from Trinidad and Tobago. His mum and dad don't even fathom and can't understand how a white woman in a rich country was homeless for 7 years, right? They can't figure out how that could happen. So yeah, very traumatic. And all I knew was hustle, survive, abuse. You know, like I've been raped 7 times, which was like an annual thing on the streets. I've written a book about my story, and I actually told yesterday, this is hot off the press, that there's a script writer looking at it to maybe turn it into a movie.
Wow.
So
because
it
what
could
happens
be
when we're brave, Hashan, and we share
Wow. This is
oh my goodness.
This is a whoa.
Everyone, the chat's all blowing up, Sean.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
So does that
Yeah,
make you famous as well? Because
I told them,
we've
I
shared
said it's like
with
train
you.
spotting, but from a woman's point of view, right? So,
Oh my God.
so
Oh my
then,
gosh. Take a
right?
breath.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's just
Wow.
a snapshot. And then what happened was I was lying in a bed in a squat, and it was all full of punks, and they were like punk music going crazy, and they were all like trust in the crust, and it was like a crazy environment. I was being sick blood. I had diarrhea blood up to 10 times a day. I was waiting to die. So I was lying on this fold out, you know, the camp beds, in the middle of a mad punk squat, just like I was smoking grass, and I was just saying, when you're ready, God, just finish the job, man. Just like end this for me. Wow. And out of my haze of pain and dope came this guy who said, Sian, is that you? And I just was looking, I was like, I think so. Like at that point, I was like, I don't even know if I'm alive anymore. Like, this is crazy. And he said, I'm coming back for you. And I just said, yeah, whatever. Couldn't even remember him. Laid there. Then he came back for me, right?
Wow.
He came back. He came back and he says, I have spoken to my flatmates in Edinburgh, and we would like to have you come and stay with us. And I was like, yeah, die here, die there, die, I don't care, you know, just whatever. And so funnily enough, years before that, because I was homeless at 15, years before that, I remember a Christmas, and it was Christmas, and I was on the streets of Scotland, and his mother was my ex-head mistress, and she invited me to their house for Christmas and made me a stocking, and I've still got that stocking with my name on it out of like glitter pen. And so that's where he knew me from. And so I went to live in his house, and in my book, it's the chapter called Hotel Paradiso. I was living in the corner of a kitchen, but to me, it was a palace, right? Wow. So I was being sick every day, still blood, severe pain till I was buckled over, still 6 stone. And he showed me how to live, you know? And that's why I'm saying, like, this is where the love comes in. Yeah. So I'm going to let Jasmine step in with number 3.
Wow, that's like, I think we're all a bit like, okay, goodness me. Okay, so, you know, you talk about love. The title, I forgot to mention that, sorry. The title of this segment is Love is the Secret to Our Revolution. And so, you know, you talk about love being, you know, the power to our revolution. Please expand on that.
Right, so when you're at that position where you don't love yourself, you've been taught that you're not worth anything. How are you going to love? How can you find love for yourself?
Don't know what it is, do we, to do
that?
Yeah.
But then this guy came out of nowhere, and thank God he did, you know, and he and his friends who never knew me, and I was a messed up girl, let me sleep in their kitchen corner. And that was the first sort of reigniting of my soul that was about to die, right? Wow. That was the first, like, they loved me enough to let this messed up, broken woman, like, basically fall apart in the corner of their kitchen, right? I built drapes, I called it Le Boudoir, and that was my area. And then I do it with flair, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might be homeless and in a wreck, but I live in a boudoir, okay?
Yeah, your boudoir, I like it.
So I built Le Boudoir, and I learned And also I got some hard truths because I, at that time, was taking drugs, drinking, smoking, abusing myself, basically, because I was worthless, right? And one day I remember taking some ecstasy and then him, like, then being sick blood, right? And then blaming it on the sausages I ate. And he was like, hey, wait a minute. It's not the sausages, girl. It's the drugs you're taking. Maybe you should stop doing them, right? So that was the first time anybody cared to even say anything to me about what I was doing to myself. So I started a journey of, could I stop taking drugs? Could I change my life? I thought, well, you're not dead, so maybe you need to learn how to live. And so I started a journey of, I would go to clubs and I would have the drugs in my pocket, but I wouldn't take them. And then till the end of the night, then I'd take them and go, I've done all right, woo! And then I'd take them, right? But then it got to the stage where I remember going to a club and taking a salmon sandwich and an apple. And everybody's like, what you on tonight, man? What you taking? And I was like, salmon sandwich and an apple. And they're like, I've never heard of that one before. And I'd be like, yeah, it's new. It's called food, So fast forward, I picked the wrong man. I picked the wrong man to love because I felt like I had so much love to give and I had enough for both of us, which we all know, I'm sure, on this call is not the solution to love, right? So I fell pregnant to that guy. And then this is where I felt, God, I can put all my love here. I'd been clubbing in Manchester and Rusholme, and they were all inviting me back because I'm a bit of a party, right? And then I was able to say no because I had a child in my womb. And I had so much love for this child that I was like, I will not damage my child with drugs. I have to clean up. I will not give my child the life I have seen. I have to change my life, right? So that love of that child in my womb and that love of that guy who came out of the smog and took me to safety started my own revolution. Beautiful. It started me to be able to fill myself with love. And my son, who's now 24, says that, he knows he's amazing because I've told him his whole life that the sun shines out his butt. So I love that boy, like so much. I changed my life for that boy until I learned that to change my life for that boy, it meant I need to love myself. Yes. I need to heal myself, yes. Right? And that I deserve that love. And that, in fact, I cannot show up in this world for everybody else and use that story. I should be dead by rights, but I'm not dead, right? So I'm here for a reason. And that's why I wanted to come to this event. Like normally I'm used to speaking on stages where I've got this thing happening. I'm going to get you to buy or going to get you to sign up. And I'm here because I love every single woman in this world, right? And I'm bringing this fire, hellfire that I've lived through to say to you, maybe I can be your messenger of love today. Maybe I can say, I love you so much. I no longer want you to hold back who you are. I no longer want you not to love yourself enough to give me who you are, because we need you. We need every woman in this world to stand in her beauty and rise and shine. Yes. Queens, rise and shine, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm bringing today. I want to say to you, love yourself. And if it takes somebody else's love, then I'm here to say I was loved when I couldn't love myself. And I'm bringing that love to start your revolution today. So I'm happy to take any questions because I could talk for days, but I'm not gonna. So
but before you do go,
have any questions, let me know.
One thing, because I've got one here that I do think would be really beneficial. Okay. How do you think, Sian, that ladies on the call today can unlock that power within themselves?
I think you can unlock that power today. Who put in the chat who wants to unlock their most amazing rise and shine queen power? Put it in the chat.
There's a little Caribbean lilt I heard there as well.
Oh, well, I'm nearly there. I told you I got one foot in the ocean. By next year, as per my letter, that's where I'm going to be. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of women here saying yes. So I ask you to accept Jasmine's love, because she has not put all the hours that she has into this event, because she don't love you, because she doesn't know that you all deserve to rise and shine, you know. So thank you, Jasmine. I'm heartfelt to the story you've lived through, and all of us women, we have lived through so many stories, and yet we turn on ourselves. So I'm asking you to take Jasmine's love, take my love, and accept it, that we love you. So please love yourself now. Every time you're like, oh, chastising yourself, just tell yourself to be quiet. Say, nah, 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 I'm a queen. Be quiet. Yeah. And the more you tell that negative, berating voice to be quiet, the more it will be quiet, you know, and you'll move forward. And then I always say, connect with coaches. Literally, I'm like, when the student is ready, the teacher has come, is a quote I live by. And maybe one of us on here, one of our speakers is your teacher today. But I want to bring that love is the power to your revolution, loving yourself, honoring yourself, putting boundaries in place to respect yourself, space with yourself. You know, that's what I would say. From, if you take anything from today, then you have the right to love yourself. Jasmine and I are standing here saying that we love you. That's why the space has been created. That's why, I mean, there's an amazing aeronautical show happening outside my door right now. There's World War II bombers doing aerial flips, and my gorgeous baby is out there, my gorgeous husband is out there, and I never work on a Saturday. But because what Jasmine has created was so important to me, and I knew that somebody on here, if not all, have to take this message on board today. So like, let's draw a line. So put in the chat, I've drawn a line. I love myself.
Oh, I love that.
That's what I like to see. So you draw a line today. This is how you do it. You draw a line, no more chastising yourself, because you are beautiful and we love you. So even if in the times you're feeling like, you know, I'm not this, I'm not that, I can't do that. Trust me, to step into that role as CEO of the center, I was so scared. You know, that was a dream that was placed on my heart. It's so powerful that I freaked out, and it took me years to step into that role, right? And I was so scared, and I took a deep breath and I drew a line and I stepped into it, right? And I'm not perfect, and that's okay. I make mistakes, and that's okay. Like, hey, we're all learning every single day. So when you make a mistake, it's okay. Like, if you're breathing, you're sorted. You know, you got another chance. Beautiful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my message for you today, is just soak up the love that we have for you if you don't have quite enough for yourself right now, and turn that love on to yourself. Because when you love yourself, look at how I'm showing up today. And years back, I had that dream when I stood in the ocean. And guess what? My husband is from Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, right? My daughter has a Caribbean passport. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Guess what my husband's favorite drink is? Put in the chat. What do you think my husband's favorite drink is?
Oh, I know. I'm going to put it in there. I think based on what you just said.
Yes.
Pina colada.
My
Yeah, that's exactly
husband's
what I'm gonna
favorite
write.
drink is pina colada.
Well, you wanted to
So-
be drinking when you were.
How, if dreams don't come true, how could I now be married to a Caribbean man? I have plans for our off-grid living home in Tobago. My daughter has a Trinidadian passport, and my husband's favorite drink is pina colada. Trust me, I wouldn't be here if I didn't learn to love myself. So just sack that CIT, let it all go. It's a waste of time, and just accept that we love you. And now you got to start loving yourself and just hit it, man. Be scared, but do it anyway. You know, because it is awesome.
Do it anyway.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So that's
brilliant.
what I wanted to bring to you, wonderful women today, so that you can rise and shine, queens.
Love it. Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you. We are now opening the floor for questions, and I can see two ladies with their hands up already. So coming to you, Hasna, feel free to ask a question.
It was more of a comment, really, because I like the sound of my own voice as well, and I can talk forever, like you, Sean. I am definitely interested in connecting with you. I have a small business, but I have no clue what to do with it.
There we go.
And it is 100% natural, environment friendly. I make skincare products just with oils. So we will connect. Thank you so much for your presentation. Really enjoyed listening to you. Really enjoyed the session. Very informative.
I've put my
Brilliant. Thank
LinkedIn
you.
in the chat. So come
Great.
join me on LinkedIn.
Excellent. Coming to you next, Agnes. I invite you to unmute.
Hey, Sean. I'm talking to you from my boudoir. It's unfortunate you cannot see me from my boudoir. From another boudoir to a boudoir, your sister is coming to you with the biggest of love. I want to say to you, excess love to you. There's a Christian song that says excess love. I love myself and I love you. I love what you stand for. Your story is so wonderful. From where you've come from to where you are today, no one has an excuse. Nobody has an excuse. And I also want to do a business, a coaching business, coming from a mental challenge. I've had so many challenges to set that up. But I know I've been in this group, thank you, Jasmine, so that this dream that I have to manifest for women is going to blossom from my boudoir to their boudoir. So thank you. We'll get we'll link in together. Thank you so much. I'm so inspired. And
awesome.
And I'm coming
and
to Trinidad and Tobago. Just remember that I'm coming too.
When you connect with me on LinkedIn, everybody, tell me your name. Say hello in the message, okay? So that it doesn't get lost in all the other connections that come in, okay? Because I don't want to lose this conversation.
Okay.
And in other words, send Sean an email saying, hi, Sean, you know, it was great connecting with you, with the women like me, something like that. So she can think, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have an email address, Sean? Do you have an email address?
Well, there's my gift just been put in the chat. So if you sign up for all them free gifts and discounts that I'm offering, you will go into my email and I will tag you anyway as the CIC event, and I'll keep track of you that way and let you know there's an offer coming to join the Centre for Sustainable Action soon. So I'll let you know when that comes out.
Thank you.
Hello, it's Marie. It's Marie here. There was a few things where I just want to say thank you. That was really inspiring and really empowering. But I think the point I wanted to make as well, it is when we just smile at somebody or we may just help somebody, which doesn't seem a lot, it's so valuable, the help that you give people. It may not seem like a lot, you know, it may not be a major thing that somebody's given you £10,000 or somebody's done that, but by somebody allowing you to stay there in the kitchen, by just smiling at somebody, by just asking somebody how they are, is it's very important. But I wanted to ask as well, do you do work with people who have addictions or are recovering from drug addiction? Are you involved in anything like that? Or
what I have done before, and I'm not doing at the moment, is done some talks with homeless charities.
Okay.
And supported them through that, and through my SURE model, which is Sustainable Health and Wellbeing model.
Right.
I've used that process to help, well, in particular, one woman from addiction and homelessness to running a home business.
Right. Okay. Thank you. It was really wonderful to hear you, and
thank
it's
you
really
so
empowering.
much.
All right, so we've got a
Thank
few more. Thank you for that, Murray. Louise, coming to you next. V, would you like to unmute?
Okay, Sian, what struck me when you were speaking was the absence of your mum during your experiences at home. So are you happy to kind of go there with that?
Yeah. Many people are surprised that I've forgiven my mum and have a good relationship with her. Right. Partly the reason I've done that is because I know if you don't forgive, it rots you, not the person who has done you wrong. But also because I'm aware that she's a woman, and that in this world it is not equal for women. Like, she was a naval wife, and she wasn't actually allowed to vote without her husband's signature until 1984, right? She had 3 kids and was stuck in naval accommodation, moving on average every 3 months we moved until I got thrown out. So how could she set up something if she was constantly moving and taking care of the house? She had this man come home every 6 months and treat her wrong as well. So my mum stuck up for me a lot until it got more dangerous for her to stick up for me, you know? And so what am I going to do? Am I going to further punish this woman who at the moment is disabled and ill because she has punished herself enough? Or am I going to forgive her and build that relationship with my mother, who is a woman and lives in this world that is unfair to women? So that's why I made the choice. And yeah, me and my mum chat like loads, man. I just decided to annoy her. I was like, well, that's it. You're stuck with me now. I didn't die, so I'm here. And I just phone her lots. So we have a good relationship. So yeah, I understand a woman's position in life is not black and white.
Really great show.
Thanks, Sian. Thank you.
Thanks, V. I'm coming to P. Next, you want to unmute, P?
I have to admit, I think I'm going to be starting a whole load of fan clubs at the moment. Sian's, Hansa, everybody, because it's just, I found today amazing. And what B is asking you is what I was going to ask you. But I've seen that happen before. One of the girls that have adopted me and I've adopted them is having an issue with her mum. And I've told her that same thing, but now I can share with her again. You've gone through even more than what she's gone through. And if you can forgive, I'm going to talk to her. But that's really given me an answer that I suppose because I've not had that lived experience, I didn't really know what to say to her. So Sian, thank you. Thank you.
Do you want me to pop a link to my book in the chat?
Yes,
because
please.
I know another mother
please.
has bought the book for a troubled young woman.
Yes, please.
So let me get that link.
Fantastic, brilliant. And Sian, some people are saying that they're struggling to click on your offer link.
Yeah, I've clicked on it and I'm getting through to it, so I'm not sure what's happening. I've reposted it, so hopefully they can get through then.
Try again, peeps. All right, so then last 2 now.
There's a book to my link to my book.
All right, Zoom user's gone. So last 1 now. Marcia, did you want to ask or comment quickly?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, Sian, is your father still alive? Do you have a relationship with him, if he is?
No, my stepfather, last I heard, and he's the one who was abusive, he is an alcoholic somewhere in the England somewhere. He was, you know what happened? I went to PTSD resolution as an ex-naval family member. I got free PTSD care. And they said that they think he was undiagnosed Gulf War syndrome and PTSD because he was in the Gulf War. And they injected him with funny chemicals.
Oh.
Right?
Wow.
So then you start thinking, how can I hate this guy when potentially he was incredibly damaged by war? Right? So then I have to forgive him, even though I will never want to hang out with him or have a relationship with him because he's not my father. I found out my real father died in a head-on collision in 2005, and I didn't even know until 2010 that he was dead. So I'm quite bereft of fathers, but then I found Jesus Christ. Amen. And realized that I have a heavenly father that loves me because I'm awesome. And then I was like, damn, I've been looking for the wrong father my whole life.
I love it. I love it, Sian.
Yeah, so I'm not bothered about the father. And I know my mother, she had enough challenges as a woman in this world. So I forgive, and I just now speak to my Heavenly Father